their mother for the ants. Rats snitch on one another for the hands. Sometimes kids get murdered for the ants. So before we go any further, I want my hands. I knew this kid named Bill, he didn't have a dollar. He was Harvard material, Ivy League scholar. He had a PhD and an MBA, but now he's waiting tables cause his rent to pay. Companies downsizing, inflation's rising. Can't find a job and he feels kinda stressed. Doesn't even feel the effects when he says, forget to count how many times he's been blessed. So he falls off track, starts smoking a crack. Once it hits his brain, starts a chain reaction. He sells the shirt off his back and the shoes off his feet. He's looking on his teeth and he's living on the streets. And all of a sudden it's like just a change, trying to stick up kids for their watches and chains. But he's in this school, but his nerves with a tool. So he ends up on his back in a bloody pool for the hands. Some people will rob their mother for the hands. Rats snitch on one another for the hands. Sometimes kids get murdered for the hands. So before we go any further, I want my hands. I knew this chick named Sally had a nice truck. Everywhere that I went, she was up in the cut, swinging that Bud like place, yeah. Only rapper man with rockin' the flag, yeah. Brand name wearing, champagne waving, jewels around her neck, a lot of style she's craving. Ain't no saving, she doing all the spinning. If you do the lending, she'll do the bending. Straight machine bending, it's money to take. Now shopping sprees, get her on her knees. And if you hit her with the keys to your house, you acting funny. Come home one day, find her counting out your money. From the wedding lands all the way to the Apollo. If you're broke, she's spitting. If you're rich, she might swallow for the hands. Some people will rob their mother for the hands. Rats snitch on one another for the hands. Sometimes kids get murdered for the hands. So before we go any further, I want my hands. Well, these two homeboys made a lot of noise, making money on the block, kids was on their jock. They was tough and leather like Reverend Ron. DMC, they was toting guns, holding weight, going out of state, stacking mad chips and pushing fat whips. Fly jewels and clothes, ain't got no job.